And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 103 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers.
We will happily drink them.
Yes, we will. And you can head to hansonsonhiatus.com. You can go to the merch shop and check out all of our different designs for shirts, hats,
coffee mugs, stickers,
pillows, anything.
Tote bags.
Yeah, diaphragms.
You give it. I don't think that's
not yet. Coming in 2026.
Maybe up and coming.
Maybe. But you can also there are all the links to the podcast there. If you want to share it with your friends and family, we greatly appreciate it.
Yep. You can listen and watch our videos.
That's true. And you can be a monthly fucky supporter on our Patreon. You can be a little fucky for $1 a month. You can be a medium fucky for $5 a month, and you can be a big old fucky for $10 a month.
Love it. Love all our fuckies.
Yes.
Any denomination is much appreciated.
Yes. So yeah, thank you. If you're loving the stories and information and everything, feel free to help support the podcast. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Yeah,
Let's keep it going.
Also, like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music at Hansons on Hiatus. And
we be there.
We be there. We be
there.
everywhere as much as we can.
As much as we can.
So I'll get into this weekend here in a second, but there was one other story that I wanted to talk about from New Orleans. And I was at the mall. I think it's called Riverside Mall or something. It's right along the Mississippi River.
Okay.
Really nice. It wasn't there the last time when I went, but that was like 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
But there was so I'm walking through the mall, and I can't remember what I was looking for. I think maybe I was looking for shorts because I was fucking hot there, and I only brought jeans.
Because it was like a blizzard the week before you went, so you didn't know how to pack.
Yeah. So I'm walking through the mall, and there's one of those ladies standing out in the hall, like trying to give you like perfume or cream or something.
Sample
like
something.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like on the right side of the hallway, way across from her, and she's like, sir. I was like, no, I'm good, thank you, whatever. And then and I don't know why, but she fucking got me. And she was like, she said something like, oh, hey, come here for a second, I wanted to ask you something. And I was like, all right, whatever, I ain't going into your fucking store.
Yeah.
And she was like, I just want to know what you're doing, like your skin looks amazing. And I was like bullshit, bitch. I got fucking crow's feet or whatever.
You should have said, "Am I your ideal candidate for this lady? Are you sure?"
Yeah, I don't know. But then she was like, "Well, here, come in here for a second." I was like, "All right." I was like, I'm having it in my head. I'm like, I ain't buying anything. I don't have any money on me.
She got you in the store?
Yeah, and then she's like, put some cream on my hand, on one hand and not on the other, and then she does some on like one eye and then not the other, and it did look like it worked. I mean, it did take like. Half of me looked great, but she's like, doing the makeup girl thing where she's like rubbing my hand and looking at me like, ooh, what does your tattoo mean? And I was like, oh, it means Yasu in Greek. It's like
should have said I'm married.
Yeah, it means friend. Well, it means cheers in Greek.
Yes.
And she's like, I know, like she looked Middle Eastern or Greek or something.
Oh.
And then she did her little spiel was great. I mean, like she's like, how long have you and your wife been married and stuff, like, and she's looking at my ring. She's very observant,
Excellent.
And then after would you okay, so does the whole thing, and would you maybe have you heard of this? It's called Lavier. It's Lavier. Yeah, LAVALIER.
Sounds like some fancy French cosmetics
so
that I probably don't have.
She's like, let me tell you this. It's and I'm going to miss this whole spiel because it was like, 30 minutes it felt like.
Oh my God.
But she was like,
got you for 30 minutes.
It's like, it retails at $900.
Oh.
But I can give it to you today for $400. And I was like, absolutely not. And she was like, really? Okay. Well, let me ask you this. If you were going to, do you see the results? Do you like the results? Do you think if, we got you these products, you would refer us to other people? And, said, I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? So I'm thinking like, oh, this bitch is giving me it for free. And she's like, okay, so that's great. Okay. All right. Well then, so are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, sure. And she's like, okay, so it'll only be $250. And I was like, whoa. I was like, no. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, okay, so how about we do this? We're not going to, which one of these did you like better? Did you like the eye cream or the hand cream? Okay, so we're going to give you this as a gift, and all you have to do is refer us to, anyone that you think would use these products. And I was like, okay. I was like, are you sure? Like, free? And she's like, yeah, let's go over to the register. And she's like, okay, so it'll be $150. And I was like, no. And she's like, well, what's the issue? Is it just the money? And I was like, yes. And she was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, how about this? And I was like, no. Like, and she's like, really? Like, no? Like, she like really was
Confused.
shocked that I had said no or whatever. But she was good. Like, her spiel was good. Like, if I would have just like, it's kind of that whirlwind. She just hits you with a bunch of information
Yeah.
and then doesn't really say the price until you're like maybe at the register and you're like, oh, well, it was $900. It's only $150. But like, I ain't spent $150 on cream. Like, I'm about to go to Payway over here.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't got that kind of money.
Like
I'm
50
sorry.
cent wings.
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
Yeah.
I love it that well, I'm not there. I'm the no person.
Yeah, you're
like,
more than no.
No, like I have no
I'll
problem.
hear you
saying
out,
no.
but
Yeah, I'll hear you out, but it's already no. It's probably no.
Yeah.
But I love how she goes, this retails for 900, so today it's only 400 for you, and then got you down to 150. I would be like, can you just give it to me for free? Obviously nobody's buying this if it retails at 900 and you're giving it at 150.
yeah. But it's one of those things. It's like I don't know, like a multi-level marketing kind of
Yeah.
thing. You know, I'm sure they all work on commissions and it's a overhead company and they have a location at the mall and all those people are like subcontractors
Oh,
or
yeah.
something, you
In
know.
order to get it for 150, you're going to have to bring on 10 other people that buy this at 400.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's like, oh, what did I just sign up for?
Oh
I'm in
my
a cult.
God. Don't sign anything. That's hilarious. I'm shocked she got you in there.
I know. Well, I don't even know why I went over there because I had already said no. And she's like, okay. But she was like, let me ask you something. So I thought I don't know. I'm in like Super Bowl mode. So I'm thinking she's asking me like, oh, like, you know, why are so many people in town, or, you know, something like, oh, do you know any, like, the concerts going on this week? Or I'm just thinking she's asking me something about the Super Bowl for some reason. No. Yeah.
If
it was not
anybody
it.
says to me, I'd like to ask you a question. No, already done. Nope.
And I'm the perfect person for these types of people because I'm too polite to say, like, I should have, when
the
she was like,
Iowa
oh,
nice.
come in here, I should have been like, no, bitch, I'm going somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
but I'm too polite where I don't want to be like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to come into your store. You
Any
know?
of those people, I usually just say, no, I'm allergic to a lot of things. Don't even touch me with it. And they're just like, oh, okay. I'm like, you're
Oh,
going to
that's a
make
good
me
one.
break out or
Yeah.
blow up or
I'm
something.
allergic to bullshit.
I'm allergic.
Get the fuck out.
I'm allergic to your bullshit. Sorry, bye. I got somewhere to be. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. So
You
yeah,
didn't even tell me that.
I just thought about that story, but I was like, she almost got me. I mean,
Almost
she was
got
never going to get me because I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on some fucking cream. I don't even
$400.
wash my face before I go to sleep. You always give me shit for not having like a skincare routine.
Yes.
I just use soap and shampoo and whatnot.
Maybe by 50 we'll get you on one.
All right.
I think you still look great, and I appreciate her telling you that you look great.
But in my head, I'm going, you're just lying to me.
Yeah.
Like, she's showing me the mirror, and I'm like, I can see like my wrinkles and stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, clearly, you know, I'm not like 20 or something.
you
know?
should have been like, I already have this, and I already get Botox. Thank you.
Yeah. But let's see, what's we've been doing for the last weekend. There was the USA Canada hockey game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a lot of shit talking.
A lot of
Yeah.
shit talking
Especially-
online and in person.
Yeah, especially here because there's a lot of Canadians here and a lot of Americans here.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but we went and watched it with our Canadian friends,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was actually fun to watch it with them because they're big hockey fans.
Yes.
And we watch hockey, but we're not like, I mean, we'll follow like the Penguins or something, but we're not like international hockey fans. I don't know all the players and everything like that.
I didn't even know there was a game on. They're like, we're going to go out and have beers and watch hockey. I was like, perfect. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
There was some meme and it was talking about like the Americans talking shit, and it was like, yeah, Americans talking shit to Canadians about the 4-country whatever it was called tournament. And it was like when they just found out 3 days ago
Yeah.
that there was a 4-country tournament going on.
Yes.
So like none of us even, I mean, I didn't know that was
I
happening.
didn't know either.
Yeah, it
I
was-
mean, I'm sure it's the same every year, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I'd never even heard of it. But I was wearing my shirt actually that these same Canadians, Jeff and Jen, are friends from Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
got us. And one of the breweries, Nickelback, not Nickelback, Nickelbrook,
Nickelbrook.
sorry.
I was like, Nickelback.
They have a beer called Naughty Neighbor,
Yes.
and it's an American eagle with he's wearing a little helmet or something, and it's called Naughty Neighbor, and neighbor is spelled, you know, in
Like
the French
face.
way,
Yes.
B-O-U-R.
Neighbor.
Yeah, neighbor. But I thought that was a pretty funny beer to have. They're like, oh, our little naughty neighbor downstairs, you know, making all that racket down there.
So funny, especially now.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it was fun. It was a good time watching with them. You know, obviously Canada won, but you know, we were in a bar full of Canadians, so
Oh, yeah.
you know, we weren't going to cheer too loud. So.
No, we were like,
We're like,
yay.
yay.
Good job.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was a good game.
Yeah. But we've been having a lot of electrical issues in Playa recently.
And I mean, it seems like Quintana Roo, like Tulum's been having issues, but definitely we've been having some issues.
And it's usually just from the influx of people coming in, on vacation and stuff. The power grid's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But the house has gone out a couple times. We were at dinner the other night, and the restaurant went out, and I'm like, so it goes pitch black, and I'm like, cash only, and everybody just starts laughing and shit. But surprisingly, the cash machine did work, or the little terminal thing did work.
That's so
I don't know why.
weird.
It had no power, but the credit card machine worked.
Interesting. Little fishy there.
Yeah.
Little suspect.
Then we're at the Interplaya soccer match, and the power goes out there. Like the entire stadium. It was pitch black.
It was so scary.
Yeah, so it's pitch black for the first couple minutes, and then we see some workers with some flashlights trying to like figure out what's wrong or whatever, and then some of the lights are coming back on, and then this one light goes boom, and it pops back on, and then boom, another one pops back on.
Everybody's like, woo.
Yeah, we're like, woo. and then after the match, we go to one of our favorite beer bars, and we're sitting there having a good time, drinking a couple beers, and boom, power goes out there too.
Maybe it's us.
Yeah.
We're just too electric.
Yeah, we just start yelling free beer, and we're free beer.
Free beers.
But it kind of reminded me when the power went out at like the Super Bowl, or there was a Steelers game that at Candlestick Park where the power completely went out. But I'm just like, it was weird. Like when the power went out at the soccer stadium, I'm like, whose hand is in my pocket? Whose hand is in my pocket? Oh, that's mine. Sorry.
Touching me.
Oh, shoot.
So funny.
But then the power came back on, and it went into a shootout.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning in the shootout.
We won.
Still not sure why it was a shootout, because I thought this was like the third game of, no, not third game. Well, maybe third or fourth game of the season.
Yeah.
So usually the shootout's not till the end, unless we were in like some kind of tournament play. I've been watching this team for like 3 years, and I'm still trying to figure out the season with the split in the middle and all those things.
It's difficult, and there's not a lot of information on social media or their website. Their website, never any updates really, but social media, you'd think they'd be like, hey, by the way, this is a big game. Get here, everybody. But no. Just another game.
Yeah. Like,
another day.
Well, we won, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, that was great. I'm so
Viva
happy.
Inter.
I hate when we ended on a tie. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I
it
know
feels
that's,
weird, but
that's probably American, but who won? We just kept saying, but who won?
I mean, that's how it is in every other sport,
Yeah.
football and
Maybe
You're
it
right.
makes more
Football,
sense.
basketball, everything. It's like you just end in a tie, right?
Yeah, maybe it makes more sense to
What
have more
happened?
ties.
I mean, I should know this, but like in basketball, they don't do a shootout, right? So do they just go into overtimes until somebody is ahead at the overtimes?
Asking the wrong gal.
I know.
You should probably ask your mom. She loves basketball.
True, I should ask her that. But yeah, it would be cool if they did that, like play an overtime and then they just shoot free throws until people start missing.
They'll
or
be
something.
like,
and then they start going out further and further, like they're doing half court shots.
you have to play horse
Yeah,
real quick.
that would be hilarious.
Everybody watches them.
What else? After we went to the beer bar and the power came back on and everything, we went and met up with our buddy Juan, who has the 2 pugs that we babysit sometimes.
Yes, Penelope and Petunia.
And one of the great things and worst things about Mexico is sometimes you can bend the rules.
Yes.
Sometimes they'll put their foot down for fucking weird shit. They're like, no, sorry, you cannot, wear a hat when you're coming through immigration or whatever it is.
Something weird.
But, this place doesn't allow dogs inside. But Juan goes inside, talks to him for a little bit. Boom, we're allowed both pugs inside.
Yes.
And Petunia got loose at one point. She's running around the bar.
She's trying to go in the kitchen.
Yeah,
what's
she's
going
like
on?
making a fucking sandwich.
I think it's they might have the rule of no dogs or dogs are allowed, but it's case by case basis.
Totally.
Because Tiger would get the same treatment too. When we take him places and they'd be like, oh, that's the dog? Sure. Like he's not going to do anything.
But then there's sometimes like, getting on the ferry where it was like, but we already scanned my ticket. How can you not let me on? And they're like, sorry, it's cut off.
Can't do it.
And we tried to bribe her and everything. I think it's by the person and case by case basis.
Yeah.
But what else did we do? Oh, we went out to eat for our friend Jen's birthday, Jeff and Jen from Canada.
Yes. Happy birthday, Jen.
Yeah. And it was awesome. We went to this place called Wine O'Clock.
So funny. I love the name.
And we got every dish with cheese in it. It was
burrata cheese.
Yeah, burrata cheese, and then there was some other cheese.
We had a lot of cheese.
Yeah, it was good.
And then I love towards the end of the meal, me and Jeff are like, oh yeah, we're kind of lactose intolerant, but we like the cheese here. It never gives me a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And the bread came in like a bag instead of a basket
Sack.
or something.
A sack sack of bread.
Sack of bread. Yeah, but so that was really good. Yeah, so if you're in Playa del Carmen, Wine O'Clock is a great spot.
Lots of good little tapas, good wine menu, lots of different options. The music was great. They had some guy singing Spanish music with his little guitar. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Loved it.
And then let's see, on Sunday we rented a car and went up to visit. My parents are still here in town, obviously, and they have some friends from our hometown and our friends too, obviously. Yeah. Actually, the parents of Rizzy, the dog
Rizzy,
that
the little Chihuahua that I watched.
Yeah,
for a
that you were
while.
watching. So they're in Puerto Morelos, and so we rented a car because I don't know, it was just easier than trying to get my parents down to the bus station and taking that up, and then a taxi over. So we opted to rent a car because it was only $30 for the day.
Yeah, so much cheaper.
No
and then
brainer.
it would have been a, $30 taxi each way, and then in between Puerto Morelos and everything, it would have cost us way more money than a $30 rental car.
Yeah. And we went up and we met him at this place. What was it, like La Serena or something?
Yeah, La Serena,
Yeah.
like the mermaid.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? I thought it was
think so.
Serena.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, let me look. But
Delicious.
the best Greek food
Oh my
I've
God.
had in Mexico.
Didn't even realize when they're throwing restaurants out, let's meet here, let's meet there. And then we get there, amazing view, amazing staff. They have like a rooftop with an amazing view, like I said. But they all of a sudden, Julie's like, oh, yeah, they have great Greek food here. You might be interested. I don't get a lot of good Greek food here in Playa. We only have one Greek restaurant. It's a little pricey. So we go there. Oh, my God, the best gyro I've had with this like chunky tzatziki sauce, and the spanakopita was amazing. Like the spinach pies. I got to go back. I got to try everything.
And I went, and by the way, you are right. It's Serena.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I would just coming back from New Orleans, they had a fucking muffaletta,
Muffaletta,
whatever,
muffaletta.
however you fucking
I
say
like
it.
moof.
Yeah, a little moofy moof.
Moof.
They had one of those. I was like, oh, I got to try a Mexican muffaletta.
And you were just asking. You're like, I miss a muffaletta. I want one again.
Yeah, so I had one. It was good. It was like the meat on it was really good. Like, I mean, we've always wanted like kind of cold cut sandwiches.
Yeah, we miss good sandwiches.
Yeah, and they don't have a ton here. But that was delicious. The bread wasn't like the round French bread like they normally do.
Yeah.
And because like, I don't know if you know, like the sandwich is this big around and the bread is just a big circle kind of French bread type of thing. And a full one is like $25 to $30.
Oh.
And then a half one is, 10 to 15 or whatever.
Gotcha. Wow.
But I ate a half one, and I probably one time when I went to a restaurant in New Orleans, but then I went with Angie to the same one, and we shared one. Like a fourth of it is even enough.
Wow.
Like it's good. But I sent it to my buddy in New Orleans, and he was like, "What's that stuff on the bottom?" And I was like, "Oh, that's the olive mixture. Like they put it on the bottom instead of the top for some reason." So,
Oh my
but,
gosh.
but
It looked like a nice little Sammy.
yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it was like. If I was in town, I would buy that all the time, if we lived there. Or whatnot.
Oh, yeah. If anyone ever moves here and wants to open up a business, you would make a fortune with like a sandwich shop, like
Totally.
hoagies or grinders or subs, like those kind of, Midwest, East Coast kind of something like messy, whatever, with all the stuff on it. There's nothing. They have great tortas here. They have sandwiches.
Just
They
not
have-
like the cold cut sandwiches.
Yeah.
Which is so
nothing like
weird.
that.
It goes back to the same thing with pizza. Like the pizza is mediocre, at least in our part of Mexico in Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
We feel like they don't put enough sauce on it, but they sell the sauce at the grocery store. Like they have tomato sauce and pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, whatever.
Marinara.
And it's the same thing with sandwiches. There's not a lot of good sandwich shops. I mean, they have like the French bakery ones where it's like, what's that meat? That real thin meat.
Oh, like the capricola or whatever, the salami. Kind
Yeah,
of
and I thought it's not like bruschetta, but it's. I thought it starts with the B.
the,
It looks almost like dried.
yeah.
I can't think what it is, but
Wanda likes it.
yeah. But you get like a hoagie of that, and it's like $10 for this like
Yeah.
shit ass sandwich.
Yeah.
I
you're
want like a
"Let's
fucking Jersey Mike's, whatever, like
thick
piled on.
ass."
But it's the same thing. There's not a lot of sandwich shops here,
Right.
but they have at the grocery store. They have like the deli. There's people in there
they do.
shaving off meat and stuff, and they have deli meat there.
They have all the ingredients to make an amazing hoagie or grinder, but they just don't. They
Yeah.
just don't know.
And then let's see. After that, we went to this one bar. Was it Refugio?
Yeah. I didn't even know that was the name.
Yeah.
I just call it the Bigfoot Bar.
Yeah. And yeah, it's the Bigfoot Bar, as we call it, because all the seats make it look like you have a thong on, but as Bigfoot.
Yeah,
like the
like a
legs
big
are
butt.
hairy. You can get a drink in a Bigfoot cup, like in a
Like
Bigfoot foot.
Yeah.
A Bigfoot foot.
His big foot.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice little bar. We ate there. And then we were planning on going to the brewery. So it's, you and me and my parents, and then our two friends, their two friends, or all of our friends.
Yeah.
And then their
The
dog.
dog.
And so we had our car right there, and they had their car like a few blocks over. And I was like, I think we could all just slam into our car. Let's see if we can fit. And so they go to the bathroom, and we go to the car, and we're standing there, and we watch them come out of the bathroom and just run down the street the opposite way.
Yeah, we're like, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait.
Like, where did they go?
Where did you go?
And so we're calling them, blowing them up, like, what the? Like, I thought we were all trying to pile in this car or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just messaged back and said, oh, we're going, we'll meet you at the brewery.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Like everything
Totally
okay?
fine.
Yeah.
But it was weird because that wasn't really discussed. We were like, hey, let's go see if we can fit in the car. If we can't, then yeah, we'll drive 2 cars. Apparently they had ran into some friends or something, but still, like, I
was
would
weird.
have, like, we would have been messaging them saying, hey, we ran into some friends. We'll just meet you at the brewery. But it was like,
Yeah.
we're blowing them on the phone, which they're probably talking or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just odd that was never a conversation.
It was
Like,
weird.
okay.
I watched them walk away. I'm like, are they running away from us? What did we do?
Yeah.
Did they think I'm going to steal the dog?
Yeah. So we went to the brewery, Pescadores. If you ever are in Puerto Morelos or even Cancun, it's not an easy place to get to. It's on the side of the fucking highway.
You got to really like,
Yeah, but it's definitely worth it. Their beers are all $4. Doesn't matter what it is. I had an 8% Bach or a 6% IPA or a 3%, whatever, Kolsch or something, and it was all the same price.
They're all delicious beers, and I love the staff there. Every time we go there, we usually see the same couple of people, but there were new people this time, and they're just so helpful and wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. So then we went to dinner at this one place where I got pasta with like steak and steak, shrimp, and bacon in it or something.
Yeah, it was like an
really
Italian
good.
place, but they were known for their steaks also.
Yeah.
And our buddy Greg got this huge like T-bone steak, and the puppy's just watching the whole time.
Yeah, I think we've been sleeping on Puerto Morelos. I know it's
Yeah.
a smaller town. We kind of thought the same thing about Cozumel or Isla or whatever. We're like, oh, I think I would get bored there. But
Yeah.
there are a lot of good places to eat, and it's in a smaller area where you can walk around.
Right.
So
I think I'd be fat there because
yeah, me
the
too.
food was really good.
well, we'd walk around then.
We would.
Yeah.
We'd just walk it off.
But yeah, if you're looking for another option of maybe not Playa del Carmen or Cancun, right in between the two is Puerto Morelos, and I think that's a good like up and coming city.
Yeah.
10 years, it's going to be more Playa-esque,
Yeah.
but right now I think it's in a good spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But let's see. For this weekend, it is.
What's happening this weekend?
Your birthday.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm going to be 21.
21 on Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday.
Sorry, mixing up my days. I knew the date. I knew it's the
You do.
second. I just, you know how I remind myself what day it is?
How?
Because I think about what month it is, and
Yeah.
it's 3. I used to be confused if you're the second or the third.
Yeah.
But then I keep in mind, well, it's not 3/3.
Right.
I know it's always the day before the month number. So
3/2.
it's 3/2. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I keep it straight in my
Yours
head.
is my.
Yeah.
That's what I do too.
Yeah. So Alexa's been planning this trip for 5 years.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
kidding. Yeah, where I'm like, what do you want to do for your birthday? Let's figure this out.
For
So
some reason, just like when it starts getting closer to my birthday, I don't know. I just get in like a weird funk. I love my birthday. I'm excited. I don't care about my age. I know I'm going to get like food and presents and booze or whatever, but I don't know. For some reason, I don't know if it's just getting older.
yeah. Well, and we haven't even done real gifts for a number of years. We've
Yeah.
done trips now.
Yeah.
And
we
we've
really
talked about it
don't
a
do
lot.
that
We'd rather
here.
do experiences than things we don't really need to buy something just to buy something.
Yeah, we don't need a bunch of junk, and we don't have room for it here. Anyway.
Yeah.
We don't have room.
Yeah. So we are going to Mexico City
Yes.
today. We are in Mexico City right now.
We're traveling. Woo.
Yeah. So we're going today, Friday till Tuesday.
Yes.
So we got 3 full days there, and we got some things planned. So we've been to Mexico City, what, like 3-4 times?
Yes.
And we still have not done everything we wanted to do.
No, I think it's impossible.
Yeah.
We'd have to stay there for a month.
Yeah, so some of the things we're doing, we're obviously going to some breweries.
Yes, obviously.
Some of our favorite, Moreno's, Principia.
Principia is my favorite.
Yeah, La Roma, Falling Piano, a bunch of other. I mean, there's always new ones popping up because, Mexico City is, I think it was like the 6th biggest city in the world. It's like 22 million people. I don't know if that's the metro or, just the city, but it's just massive.
Massive.
So there's really good food there. You're ready for the tortas.
Yes, I can't wait to have my torta.
And the bakeries.
Oh, yeah. I know it's making you itch not having everything planned out for not that you plan out every minute of every trip, but you like to have a nice itinerary so we don't waste time, which I totally agree. This trip, I'm like, I know the kind of couple things I want to do, and otherwise we'll just pop around and eat and drink and see what we see.
Yeah.
Every time we go, we see something new, like a new brewery or restaurant or just some art exhibit or protest. There's always something going on. So I know we need to leave some space in between to just explore.
Yeah. True.
It's a great city to explore.
Yeah, definitely. And we are doing I think the first night we're doing the Lucha Libre thing again. The luchador, the Mexican wrestling. It's like WWE, but for Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's fun because you don't know any of the guys really. It's just fun watching them do flips and you're drinking giant beers and eating food. And it's a good time.
I'm excited this time because the last time we went and watched it, we were kind of tired. It was, same thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might be a little tired here.
But I don't remember why we were so tired that day.
It was the same thing. It was the first day we got in.
Yeah, it was a lot of travel. But this will be fun because we have some friends that we know from Playa del Carmen that are there already, so we're gonna go with them.
Yep. Yeah, our friend Shelly and I think some other people are there. Shelly. So that'll be fun the first night.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones we're still trying to figure out what we're doing. We know we're doing Xochimilco for sure.
On Sunday. Yeah,
on Sunday. And that is it's an area in the southern part of Mexico City. And see if I can get all this right. So basically when the Aztec Empire was here, the city, and I think even before that, was it the Mexta or something like that?
Yeah.
Mexica? I don't know. The people that were before the Aztec. Basically, Mexico City was like this floating,
lakes.
There's like lakes and there was gondolas and that's what Xochimilco is. It's the floating gardens of Xochimilco.
Yes.
And it was built by the Aztecs. And surprisingly, you always think the Aztecs as being like this ancient civilization.
Yeah.
The Aztec Empire was from the 1300s to the 1500s.
Right. Not
too
long ago.
Not that long ago. I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
Right.
I guess. But
yeah, growing up, you always think ancient Aztecs that were, but you're like, oh, this was not too long ago.
Yeah. But Xochimilco, I think it is Aztec for. It's like the land that sows the flowers or something, or sows the gardens or something. Or no, actually, it's not. The Aztec language is like Natwala, something like that.
You're great for trying.
Nahuatl. That's what it is. Yeah. And so the Aztecs built this, and this is the only area where they still have the floating gardens, where they still do the agriculture like that. So what they would do is make these floating rafts. Called chinapas. Yeah. They're like these floating rafts basically with dirt, and they would harvest their crops there, and they would have them float because it was the whole area is basically a big swamp, or it was a big lake.
Yeah, it was it was a few lakes.
Yeah. So this is the only area that's still like that. So you get on it and you get on these colorful gondola boats. They're bigger than the ones you see in Italy.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It's like this floating party, and your boat is it's 750 pesos, $35 an hour, or you can and that's for the whole boat.
Yeah.
Or you can split it between people, and it's a lot cheaper, obviously. But there's other boats that are going around, and they're making food. They're grilling up steaks for you. Yeah. They're making micheladas. They are. You can hire a mariachi band. They'll step on your boat from another boat, and they play some songs for you. And
pretty much everything you see when you're walking around Mexico, they have on these little gondolier boats, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it all.
Yes, yeah. So that'll be really fun. We've been trying to do it for the last few times, but it was the weather didn't work out, and so
this time should be good. Yeah. I want to see the floating gardens and just any of the plants and the agriculture there, because they supposedly still it's still being used. It's still for their crops and different things. And the soil there is supposed to be so rich.
Yeah.
It's just the best soil.
And
in the world.
the axolotl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Axolotl.
So it's like the little, what are they called in English?
Oxa
They think they
something?
just call it or just pronounce it axolotl.
Yeah.
They're those little like
Amphibians.
even lizards, like amphibians. They look
Yeah.
like frogs, but they have the little kind of like mane
Yeah.
thing, and they look like they're smiling.
They
and
do. They're pink, little pink guys.
Yeah.
I guess they get bigger and brown, which aren't
Yeah,
so cute.
but
the
this
little
is
ones are
like
cute.
one of the only areas that they're found in the world, and they're trying to save them from extinction. So they have like a little museum there where they raise them and they release more of them back into the canals. So
I'm so excited to see them.
yeah, so it'll be awesome. And then also we have some other ideas we're kicking around. Initially, you wanted to do the volcano hike,
Yeah.
because there's 2 volcanoes that are in between Puebla and Mexico City,
Mm-hmm.
but they are a couple hours away, and one is a dormant volcano and one is an active volcano.
Yes.
And we're looking at them, and we kind of feel like you might be needing to be like professional hikers to do this.
Yeah. I was reading up myself and I thought, I know you can't hike the active volcano because that wouldn't make sense, but there's ones, the dormant one beside it. I was reading, you can hike it, you can go around the rim, you can do all these sorts of things. But yeah, it's like expert level hiking, backpack, poles, specific shoes, all of that. I don't think I'm bringing all that for 4 days for,
Well, and I don't think we're in that good a shape for that. Like
No.
even when we were in like real good shape in Georgia
Yeah.
and
we're
hiking
a
there,
lot.
I mean, I remember being fucking winded hiking, sometimes. So,
The more videos I watch, I'm like, maybe I just want to be like at a distance and take a little volcano picture, and then I'm good.
yeah, so we might go to some surrounding city where you have a good video or a good view of the volcano.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. I mean, I took a video of it from the plane a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
And it's a mountain with smoke coming out. I mean, you're not seeing like lava eruption, but it's smoking. Like,
I had no idea until that trip that they actually had volcanoes there. So that's
yeah,
fun.
I didn't either. When we were leaving on the plane, we're like, "What the fuck is that?"
Like something's on fire. Oh, it's a volcano. What? If we were here for a week, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then this other one is very up in the air, but we are talking about maybe getting a new puppy.
Oh my god.
So obviously we've talked about before, we love pugs. We know how to take care of them very well. And whatever issues can arise from them. So we're experienced with pugs.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to help some kind of pug, either obviously rescue,
Yeah.
whether it's a little bit older or if it's like a puppy litter or whatever. People that might not know how to take care of pugs correctly, so we could do that.
Exactly.
And there seems to be a lot of pug rescues in Mexico City.
Yes.
So I've been kind of keeping my eye out.
Seems like they're all in Mexico City and Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Maybe Tijuana, but they're all over Mexico,
Those are-
obviously.
I mean, it kind of makes more sense, to be honest, because it's super fucking hot and humid here.
Yeah.
And in those cities, it's cooler and dry. So maybe the breathing issues are a little bit better there. I mean, there's
Yeah.
pugs here. There's just not as many as we see in the other parts of Mexico.
Right, because it gets hot.
Yeah. So
Even though you would think like the humid, like the heat and the moisture would help them more, but I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. But so I think we should talk about a couple things. Like, we don't know if we're doing this for sure, because we have to figure out like if it works with our time schedule, and we got to think about things like, okay, so like it would probably have to be on the last day we're there
Yes.
if we did adopt a dog. And then we'd have to think about, are we able to add a pet on our flight
Yeah.
easily to come back?
I smuggle them back.
And then on top of that, we probably have to get some kind of bill of health or health certificate for him to fly.
Mhm.
So we would have to find a vet also on that same day that we would adopt him.
Right.
So that's something to think about. We got to get a vet checkup. Also, boy or girl. I think we like boy dogs better,
I like
right?
boy dogs
Yeah.
better. I don't know why.
Nothing against girl dogs.
No offense.
Just something wears me out, especially with bigger girl dogs when they pee and they squat and it's just like just a fucking faucet of
That's your
pee.
problem. I've just always had boy dogs, so I don't know. I don't know.
I had a girl dog growing up, but she was smaller, so it wasn't as like traumatic.
Yeah.
It wasn't as
I like the boys. I feel like they're a little more durable
Yeah.
and just like
Well,
to adventure more.
when we got our childhood dog, we were told, well, girl dogs are less aggressive than boy dogs,
Sure.
and it might not
Really?
matter. I mean, that's what they told us back in the day.
Yeah.
But I say, okay, so I'm gonna say you and I have to come up with some pros and cons, which we've already done,
Sure.
and some names. So I'm gonna read you mine, and then read me yours,
I can't wait.
and then we'll do the names after. But we'll do the pros and cons first. So
Okay.
pros, I think it would be good to keep us on a little bit more of a schedule.
Mhm.
You know, it used to make us wake up super. Not that we don't wake up early, but you know, I used to wake up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
But that gets you going, especially if it's a puppy or a younger dog. You got to potty train it, and which also might be the con.
Yeah.
Just miss having a dog in general, just the companionship and the puppy snuggles and you know all that. Another pro, we have the dog beach nearby. Our place is super dog friendly. Yeah, so that's all I can think of for the pros. I don't know.
Great.
Do your pros actually?
Yeah, I have. I put like a new little love buddy, kind of like yours, having a dog, adventure buddy, travel friend. Like we used to take Tiger and Perro everywhere, and it was nice to be. Oh my God, you take your dogs places, and it's just a fun little travel buddy. Stress relief. Having a dog is, an animal is really good for you, and your just your stress level. I guess.
That could also be a con.
It could be a con too, but I also put like getting you up and out more because you're always walking a dog or taking them out to go to the bathroom. So same things like little love buddy and just like a stress reliever. And are dogs a hobby? Could that be my hobby's pugs? Raising my pug.
I would say. I mean, I don't know.
Having a pet.
It's hobby-esque.
Yeah.
Like it's something that you have to pay attention to. That's not your job or your family or whatever.
I feel like
but
people with like snakes and rodents and stuff like that's a hobby.
Yeah, I feel like that's more a hobby because you don't do a lot with them. I mean, you're not taking them for walks or anything like that usually. Let's see. So is that all your pros?
Those are the pros. Yeah.
Cons, I have not able to do as much.
Yeah.
You know, it has been kind of nice in the last year or so that, hey, we want to go do something. Let's rent a car and drive up to Puerto Morelos, or let's go over to the fucking cause. Not that we can't do some of these things with the dogs, but going up to Iowa, we got to pay, for the dog pet fee and everything, or the flying airline ticket, I guess.
Yeah,
dog
airline
ticket
fee, which just keeps going up.
So that's one thing, not being able to be as spontaneous, I guess.
Yeah.
Number two, they die. I mean, which is everything basically, but just getting over, a dog passing as an older dog, it's difficult. It was really difficult towards the end,
Another 10, 20 years of having a dog. I had Tiger when I was in my 20s, and then he passed right before I turned 40.
Yeah.
So like,
and we haven't had a lot of, we've only had, a couple dogs. But I hate to be that person. Like people have told us it gets easier, but people have told us it gets easier like the more animals you have. Because I'm still just thinking of how traumatic it was when he passed. But maybe in the future we'll be able to see these signs coming and maybe catch it ahead of time. But then it's like when it's too soon. So I don't know. Another con is we don't really have someone to watch him or her. No, him. It'd be a puppy. It'd be a boy puppy. Like my parents, are in Iowa. Yeah, they don't live here. And while they have came down in the past, they're getting a little bit older. And so going up and down these stairs, to let them out, a puppy out 4 times a day. Yeah. That might be a little much. We don't have anyone here. No offense to anyone listening here, but I don't have anyone here I would super trust with my puppy yet. Yeah. Like, if it was, the dog was 4, 5, 6 or something, and it's a little bit more easygoing. But when I feel bad making people watch a dog that like is either on a bunch of old and on a bunch of medication, or younger and has to be let out all the time, and potty train, might be peeing on somebody's house or whatever. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't let anyone watch him until he was properly potty trained and trained.
And then that's some of the other stuff I have: walking them, potty training. Yeah. Can't take them to the pool anymore, but we do have the dog beach nearby, so that's a good thing. So
mine were the same: less freedom, traveling restrictions. More worries, who's gonna watch them, money, the bills, vet bills, and of course a younger dog. I'm thinking of the last years of Tiger, all the drops and medications and vet visits and x-rays and this
taxis
and that, which he was in really good health the first 12, 13 years of his life, and just had his normal 6 months checkups all the time and really not too much money, but extra money and food and toys and beds and clothes and whatever, you know.
Well, you know, there's an easy way to regulate that. Just you don't buy it.
Oh, but they're so cute.
Well, and there's no Target here for you to buy. Like, hey, look, I bought $14 dog toys.
True. But yeah, same.
Okay,
you know.
so let's go name for name. How many names you got?
I have sections of names.
Oh, shit.
I have like just names that I've always thought of. I have a couple Greek names and a couple Spanish names. And then I have like a little.
Okay, well, you do your names, and then I have probably less than you. So.
Like all of them?
Sure.
Or just some of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have to talk about each one. Just
Well, like 2 old names that I've had forever because of Pittsburgh, the Steelers. Palomalu.
okay, call it Polly.
Polly or Paulo or something. That's another thing. You got to think of the nickname with the dog.
Yeah,
Even though Tiger was Tiger and he had 30 nicknames that had nothing to do with Tiger.
Yeah.
You know the name.
True. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a giant fan of that one just because Polly is more of like a girl name. I feel like.
So then other one I had was Bettis, like Jerome Bettis,
Okay.
the bus. I always like that because pugs are like, you know, little
bus.
little buses,
Yeah.
little defender.
But that was Tiger's middle name.
True, it was.
Yeah. So
yeah.
okay, but I don't hate that one. I do like that name, but I don't know if it'll make me think of Tiger too much.
True.
So, okay, keep going.
A couple other, like Greek names that I had listed: Apollo,
Okay.
Christos, which that's a.
Does that mean like Christmas or Christ?
No, it's like.
What do you say when Christmas and it's like and peace be with you and then and with you?
You're probably thinking of Easter. You say
Okay.
Christos Anesti.
Oh yeah.
It's like a godly name.
Yeah.
So is Apollo. I'm just thinking of my little god, my
Right.
little world.
Yeah.
Nicholas. You could call him like Nicky or Nick for short. Or Constantine.
What? All right, this is off. No dog.
I know. I'm just thinking of like grand names.
You're
for
like,
something.
what are the longest, most difficult names to spell and talk about and
Yes.
pronounce?
His name is Constantine.
Yeah, we call him constipated.
Yeah. One thing that I thought someone had mentioned to me, why don't you come up with a name that starts with D? So then you guys will be Alexis, Nate, and the dog's name. So you'd be Ant, like A-N-D.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know what that would have to do with anything or what we
No,
would do
like
with
when
that.
would we ever write that?
I think people start or like think of their kids' names that way, maybe.
Yeah, maybe,
to
I
line
guess.
them up.
That's
But
weird.
I did think so. I found a lot of D names, Spanish names that start with D. Dante,
Okay.
like on Coco, the movie, the,
okay, yeah.
the Xolo dog.
I
His
don't
name-
hate that.
His name's Dante, which is cute, strong name.
And we also have to think like we'd probably make we regret not making an Instagram for Tiger sooner, so we
Yes.
would have had stuff from him being a puppy and growing up. And hey, you never know, we could be the next Doug the Pug,
right?
make a couple extra bucks
I don't
off
think
it.
there was Instagram when I got Tiger. I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably. But what I was gonna say is we got to think of that too. What name would work well with an Instagram handle?
Right, true.
Yeah.
And I follow a ton of pugs on Instagram, and they have some goofy names.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dante, Diego. I don't know.
Don't hate
Diego's
it.
a nice name, or Dimitri. Those
Okay.
are my D names.
I like the first. I don't know about Demi. I do like Dante and Diego. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would feel weird calling him Diego.
Yeah.
Because, like we have friends' dogs that have like people names like Steve
Yeah.
or whatever.
Paul.
We always feel like that's kind of weird. We're in a
is.
place where those names are legit people's names.
Right,
that
true.
are
I've
around.
never met a Dante here. Not yet.
No, I haven't either. I don't even really feel like that's Mexican.
Yeah, I looked it up.
No,
Spanish. Well, maybe not Mexican. Spanish names. I looked
Gotcha.
up Spanish
Gotcha.
names.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I got. You shot them all down besides Dante.
No,
so
no,
that's
no,
good.
no. I like the. What was the first one?
Dante?
No, not Paul. Or not.
Apollo.
Yes, yeah, I did like that
Do
one.
you like Apollo?
Okay, I only got a couple, but this is kind of a name, but it's kind of like a word too. But Pugsito.
Well, that's what he is.
Yeah, well, Pugsito is like a little pug.
Little pug.
Yeah, so but and then I have another one, Gordo, which means fat,
Yeah.
but in an endearing way.
Right.
So people will like stop on the street. Oh, Gordo, little gordito.
Yes. People call him that anyway.
Yeah. Ray.
Ray?
Yeah.
Like R-A-Y?
No, R-E-Y.
R-E-Y.
Yeah, because Ray means king in Spanish,
Oh.
but it kind of sounds like a name, like
It
Ray.
does, Ray.
Yeah.
Like a sun ray, maybe?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
like R-E-Y. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Ray. Let's see. Churro.
Churro. You like that
Yeah.
one?
I feel like
Churrito.
churro. Like that'd be a funny name. Like he
It'd be
comes over
cute.
a little churro. Trying to think what the other ones were. Papas.
Papas?
Yeah.
Like little french fry?
Yeah.
Little potato?
Yeah, like a little potato. Yeah.
Papacito?
Yeah, papacito. And my last one is this is one of them, but I want to look up some other words. But balam. Balam means jaguar in Mayan.
Oh, yeah.
And so it kind of has a tie to the area. And depending on what color pug we get, there are kind of obviously the jaguars that are spotted and a little more golden colored.
Yeah.
And then there's the black jaguars.
Yeah.
So Balam jaguar would work for both of them. And I feel like Mexican people would look at us and be like, oh, Balam, you know what you're talking about, bro.
Very nice.
Like Ekbalam. I think it means, what is it, like the star jaguar or something like that? Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so
That might be a nice name. That's up there.
yeah. The only thing I'm not sold with Balam is there's not like a good short name.
Yeah.
We could call it Bali, but then that sounds like you named it Bali, like
Yeah,
our
true.
friend Tom's dog. Yeah.
Mommy.
Balami.
Lam.
Salami balami.
Lam, salami. Lama,
Yeah, so
lama.
just a couple ideas. I mean, we'll get some more, but
Yeah.
and if anybody else out there has some ideas for what we can name our little Mexican pug,
Yes.
shoot them our way. Send
Yeah.
us to us on Instagram or something.
I'm thinking too. So, like, I remember I had a list of names for Tiger, but when I met him, that's when I really picked a name. So, I'm hoping if we do go through with this, when we're in Mexico City, maybe the street that we're on to meet this person will have a cool name, or the city that the area that we're in, because Mexico City has all those different cool like area names. I'm just wondering if once we see him or see something from this trip, go, oh, that would be a great
Little
name.
Calle Ocho.
Yeah. Ochito. Something. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Torta.
Yeah, torta. Oh, that would be good.
Yes. But I don't want to look at someone here,
Oh.
especially a Mexican local, and go, I named my pug Pugcito.
That's kind of funny though.
Or churros. I don't know.
We could Chalango is like
Yeah.
somebody from Mexico City, and then we could call him Chili.
Chili. Or about Chella.
Oh yeah, or even just chili.
Yeah,
like a little
chili.
chili pepper.
That'd be so cute. Oh, we did it.
Oh,
We already
done.
got it. Done.
All right, right up the collar.
We're in. That's it. We're getting them.
Yeah. But again, we don't know for sure we're doing this because of the first few things we talked about, where if we do decide to get them, we would have to first of all, we'd have to find a pug. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been watching some, but if they get adopted before we get there, I can't really help that.
Yeah.
And then, if we get it the last day, is it going to be a scramble to add it onto the airline and find a vet and make sure he's ready to fly and all that?
If it is from like an adoption or like a litter or something, they should have proper paperwork already for any
Right.
puppy that you're selling or adopting out or something. They should already have like their certain shots and like birth certificate and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we might need to double.
I just
double
don't
check.
know. I mean, it's only domestic, so it's just within Mexico. But I can't remember with Tiger, we had to have a thing for him to fly domestically, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But it wasn't just like, hey, they got their shots. It had to be. I thought it was like a travel form or something, or like a bill of health kind of form.
Yeah,
So
I
it was
think that
special.
was more international here. But when we were in the States, he just had to have like his updated shot records, like Bordetella,
Yeah, I don't
all
know.
that.
Well, that's
stuff.
something we'll have to look into. So
Yeah. And then Rizzy's mom was telling me now internationally, there's a whole nother something with screw worms. I don't even know what that
Yeah.
is, but there's a new thing that you have to have that checked off the list too before you travel.
Oh yeah, well that's the new thing flying in the U.S. All the dogs have to be chipped and and then have that screwworm vaccine or whatever, because that's like I guess a big thing going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have their dog chipped? Get it chipped.
Yeah,
Easy.
well, not everybody.
Sure.
I mean, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe in the States it is, but I've heard it can be expensive here.
Yeah.
And somebody wasn't it like our friend Sydney telling us that they like the databases don't connect or something.
don't
Like
think
it depends on what
international.
company you're with, which is insane.
Yeah.
You think it would be like law enforcement, like they have their own systems, but they can like link up somehow and cross
Just like
reference.
at home, you couldn't just go to any vet to check your chip. You had to go to like the ASPCA local. There are only certain shelters and things that would scan the chip. I don't think just any vet can
True.
scan it. I don't know. But lots of things to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So cross our fingers. Hopefully,
We'll see.
this time next week, maybe we'll have a dog. I don't know. Maybe not. Or maybe we plan it for another trip and kind of set up things more in the future.
Maybe we could check out the dogs before the last day, like instead of saving it for one of the last days, go see and whatever, and then go, we're going to pick them up on Monday before we leave on Tuesday.
I can't imagine going to see a dog and being like, no, I don't want this one.
Yeah.
So
Or
I don't
like,
even know if I want to see
we'll
them
be
ahead of
back.
time, like
We might be back.
We're shopping around. Like, no, like I want to help these dogs out. So
Well, also too, it's you gotta the vibe of the place. Even when I remember going to get Tiger, I kind of got overwhelmed and almost didn't. It was like all the puppies and the mom and the dad and the grandma dog, and it was just like it was overwhelming. It was a lot. But then when I saw him, it was like like he was the one, so I took him. Took him that day. So yeah, you
Awesome.
never know.
All right,
We
well,
might be sabotaging ourselves.
yeah. All right. Well, we will see how that goes.
Keep everyone posted. Just watch your Instagram stories. I'm sure it'll be on there.
Yeah. So So all right. Well, hopefully we do most of that stuff in Mexico City. I'm sure we'll have a ton of new stories for next week of what happened, what we did, what we didn't do. But just want to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
So excited. Love you too.
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. You can buy some virtual beers if you're enjoying the stories and information and all that. Oh, and I'm sorry, real quick. I said, right, if anybody else has a name, shoot us a message on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Shoot us a message if you have a name, or comment on this episode if you're listening on Spotify or on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're open for other names. So.
Open to it.
Yeah. So, and also HansonsOnHiatus.com. We got the merch store. Alexis has a bunch of pug stuff up there, has a bunch of cat stuff, 100 episode stuff. We got a bunch of just normal podcasting. We have holiday things.
Lots of craft beer drinking shirts.
Yeah, Friday fuckers.
Yeah.
Happy Friday fuckers. We have fuckies shirts.
Lots of fuckies.
All the things.
Small, medium, big old fucky. We got them on there.
Yeah. But also don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music at Hansons on Hiatus. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.